I want to talk about an AI ad that did well in my eyes because it showed a closed network using AI for you,
Mm.
which is the Google Gemini ad. It's like a mom talking to her kid. They're about to move and they're trying to like set up his room. So she's using a bunch of like Google features to like show the photo of like what the kid's room looks like bare, and then using AI to put, all his furniture in there, and is, bringing all these, things like the Google Calendar and like, the Google Photos and all this like closed network loop of the things that we all pretty much have in Google, but knowing that you can now use AI to help you do like new and cool things, really works for me. And I want to pair this against the Ring camera ad, which did really poorly, to show an AI feature that they thought would hit, which is to, help you find lost dogs, right? All of us can like get behind finding lost dogs, right? No. People like just like supremely just knocked that down and said, no, if it starts with dogs and then it becomes about searching for people. And then, the surveillance state of like knowing that like Ring has been working with like ICE and with law enforcement to like let people, see what's happening. And this happened the same week that the Savannah Guthrie um
Her mother.
yeah, like her mom, being kidnapped comes out, and like cops then show the, I think it was like 3 to 5 seconds before the actual footage that shows up on your Ring, which shows you that the Ring is paying attention at all times. And now they're telling you, well, but we found 365 dogs last year, so like, don't you want to also sign up for this and have that going forward? So it like really led to this like dystopian mass surveillance idea that people are already afraid of. And now you're showing them that, oh yeah, we've been doing that, but we helped you found dogs. So like, isn't that cool and exciting? And so like most of what I've been seeing is people saying like, this is super terrifying and it's insane. And like, I'm never going to get a Ring camera now, or I'm going to opt out, because that was another thing. People are like, oh, wait, so this already exists? And it's like, yeah, sure enough, it does. You have to go and opt out of it, for it not to be like, working for you. So it's like this huge miss, because I think they showed their hand a little bit too much. It's like when hear those horror stories of like Target sending like a teenage girl like a pregnancy direct mail, like
Yeah, the discounts, yeah,
yeah, the
the
discounts,
circular.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the dad being like, "Wait, what is this for?" And then finding out that, oh, these companies are tracking more information about us than like we A knew or B would like them to do. And here they are showing their hand in a very like like the widest audience possible, so it's like a huge miss for me. And I think it was one of those things where they inadvertently showed their product. Both of them did, right? Google Gemini was showing like, hey, this is how AI has, slowly, come to function in all Google, platforms. I think a thing that we didn't mention earlier was when you were talking about number one being OpenAI and number three being Claude, is that number two is Google Gemini, right? Which means that they've slowly started taking that market share from like OpenAI very quietly, very slowly, but like they're getting there. And I think by them focusing on like what they do best, which is like, we have your email, we have your calendar, we have your Google like photos. You trust us for these things. Here's what you can do with them in a closed like loop network. Don't you trust us more than like these other like companies? And then like Ring, yeah, kind of just like supremely failed on my part. So would love to know your thoughts on either, both.
Well, I mean, Ring, you gotta read the room,
Yeah.
fam. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like Hulu in the room was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
what we should do is the surveillance thing. That would be dope." And if you do the math, which isn't hard math at all, you're like, "So let me see. With like this network or surveillance, we're rescuing 1 dog a day?
Yeah.
That's it?" Like,
I
is
know.
it so is we give up all of our autonomy, we give up
Mhm.
all of our agency for you to track everything that you've already been doing, by the way,
Mm.
and you want us to buy into this because you're saving a dog a day?
Mhm.
B. Nah, it's not gonna fly. No,
Mhm.
it's not gonna
Mhm.
fly. It is kindling every single suspicion,
Mhm.
every single conspiracy theory that people have around these technologies.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, here, case in point.
Yeah.
And what's wild is that the CEO is doing the rounds right now, trying to, like, dampen the fires, and, like, he's, like, completely oblivious. He's like, "I don't know how you
Yeah.
all got there." What? Are you
Logic? Rationality?
clearly, you are not in the group
Previous
chat,
history?
dude. It's like, the obviousness of it all, it
Mhm.
almost makes us wanna shake him like, "Dude,
Mhm.
pay attention,"
Mhm.
which says it's evidence of the fact that, like, we have so much information
Mhm.
in the world, but not a ton of intimacy to
Yeah.
really understand how people translate the world, how people see the world. So the Ring thing was a colossal failure, like, just
Mhm.
terrible, terrible, terrible. It was almost like it was almost like a Saturday Night Live parody.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
it was
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a parody spot. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, yo, like,
Yeah.
that would be like at the beginning of a movie where you watch the movie like, "Don't fall for that, stupid."
Uh-huh.
It was crazy. So, that complete failure. The Google one is interesting because, to your point, I mean, you framed this so well. Google is a fighting number 2 in the AI
Mhm.
wars, 1000%. And Google has the added benefit of Gemini being an additional product within its vertically integrated suite of products that work better the more you use them, right? So
Mhm.
if you have Gmail, and you have YouTube and you use Maps, they all are networked together such that they inform each other, and their products are optimized as these disparate nodes are connected thanks to the network that Google facilitates. So the idea of Gemini is not this new novel thing that you have to pick up. It's this thing that's just turbocharging all of the things that you love. Search being the easiest on ramp for that. You go, great, that's really smart. However, I think that the spot, much like Ring played their hand too much, revealed too much, showed too much thigh, I think in many ways, the Gemini spot did something similar. Not that it's poorly done by any stretch, but it felt like a use case that people aren't really looking for.
Mhm.
I think that that's a categorical flaw with AI in general, right? This is why OpenAI has to go to advertising to underwrite some of the expenses, to underwrite the business, to do things they think they can try to do and need more time to get people to adopt, is that there's not a very super clear use case beyond novelty. Dress myself up in a meme and it shows all the things that I can do. You do that once, okay, great, that was it. Or maybe it'll help me, get recipes faster, or like they're all like incremental additives to a thing that we already do, but not so much that it will necessitate the usage that the category needs to be as salient and prolific as it wants to be. And while the spot was heartwarming, I was trying to figure out, like, did something happen in the family? Did, like, someone pass, or was this a signal to, the LA fires, and that's why
Mm.
they had to move? So, like, I was still kind of figuring out, what the impetus of this move was. But outside of that, like, it felt warm, and
Mhm.
Google has always done this really well.
Mhm.
Google, I would argue, is the best at finding the humanity in the technology. I think Dear Sophie, I think the Paris engagement with the
Really?
search,
Oh,
like,
the Dear Sophie, I feel like had the opposite effect of like, why wouldn't you write something heartfelt and meaningful to people, to to the Olympic like person that you say is your hero, you know? I felt like that one was like, no, that's not what we want AI to do, because it was taking the humanity away from like you as like like what you would do normally, and have AI take over, like, for you.
see, Dear Sophie for me was like, hey, we already capture photos and videos
Mm,
of our kids coming of age. Imagine if you emailed it to them.
mm.
Done. Like, that's exactly what I did. Like, when
Yeah.
my kids were first born, I fell off, but like my kids first born,
Wait, are we talking
I
about the same one? Is that so I'm
Dear,
talking about d
Dear
yeah,
Sophie is
this
the
might be a
one, like,
different one.
yeah, Dear Sophie is like almost 20 years ago, 10 years
Okay,
ago.
so no, no, never mind,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
They had
yeah.
the spot, I think it was 2 years ago, where they
Oh,
had the
yeah, yeah.
kid write, like, a letter to I think it had for the last Olympic spot.
Yeah.
So
No,
my mistake, my mistake.
Dear Sophie's about a dad
Yeah.
who's, like, capturing all these
Mhm,
moments
mhm.
of his
Yes, I
baby
remember this
girl
now. Mhm,
growing up,
mhm,
and,
mhm.
like, he takes all the photos, all the videos, and then he emails it
Yeah.
to her so that when she's older, she gets access
Mhm.
to them. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
heart,
definitely
love.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that
So
was
good.
yeah, when they do that sort of stuff, like, that makes total sense, and I think that was for me when they did the Olympic spot 2 years ago,
Yo,
um, that was, like, a miss because it was like, "No,
right.
no, you don't wanna show AI taking over a
Exactly.
real human moment." Um,
Exactly.
so, yeah, I guess so to your point, here, I think part of, what I saw as, a like success was showing a use case that people didn't know exists, right? This
Ugh,
is another reason why I liked the OpenAI ads that came out like last year, like showing you like how to do a recipe for like a first date or like how to do a fitness plan for you. This the what Anthropic was like responding to during this ad spot, because it was showing, normal people like, "Hey, this is what you can use AI for that, like, you don't know how to use yet," right? I think we're still at the point that people need to be shown and educated on what AI can do for you right now that would actually make a difference in your life. Because like, tech people are using it in a completely different way, right?
yeah.
So it's like, let's talk about like the things that you can do. Like we can help you, plan a trip. We can help you, cook stuff. We can help you, find a fitness plan. And those things like people that don't use the computers as much, people that aren't, as like tech savvy as some of us, are. And so I thought like educating them is like a good way to show your product because like you're tying in things that like, other people maybe people aren't even using it for this, but they're like, "You could use it for this, and look
Yeah.
how cool, and doesn't it make you warm you feel warm and like, cuddly?"
So I'm with you there. I'm with you. But here's the difference between Dear Sophie from years and years and years
Mhm, mhm,
ago and this one. It leverages Marshall McLuhan's idea about technology being an extension of human behavior. So, like the Dear Sophie or the Paris engagement, when they're showing the searches where the guy goes to Paris for a trip, meets a girl, just all you see the whole story unfold via search. It's leveraging behaviors that we already do and showing how the technology can make it a little bit better.
mhm.
And when I think about the Google spot, I imagine someone in the world has done this, like, let's sort of outline your room in a thing, but it's not really a thing. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not really a thing. It's like we moved before and like, we had an idea in our mind. Maybe we made a Pinterest board of some of the stuff that we liked. And that again, an extension of what people would normally do, like a mood board of sorts, but like drawing out and mapping out a room before you actually go buy the thing or do the thing, it's not really a thing. And we've seen technology try to enable that before. Like 10
Yeah.
years ago, CB2 would have that, like,
Mhm, the
build
room,
your
yep,
own
mhm,
apartment room. Like, we've done this before. The technology has been there to do that and hadn't had the kind of adoption as to such a degree that using AI to do that better would
mhm.
seem super compelling to me at least. So
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, for me, it's like it felt like it was in search of like the use case that we're going to get people be
Mhm,
like, "Ooh, I want to do that. That's kind of
mhm,
awesome," or hit at the heartstrings the way
mhm.
Google has done so very well in the past.
Yeah. Definitely agree and can see that. Okay, cool. A couple lessons here. Safe isn't always a failure. I think the fact that Google played it safe was a plus for me. Though, the use case is like something, I think it's still a little too early, though eventually I think people might get there. But here we saw Ring essentially visualize this thing that people are already afraid of and show it in an ad while trying to wrap it in a warm, fuzzy, lost dog type of framing that doesn't actually override the creepy mechanics that people are already afraid of. And it really showed their hand at a time that like culturally people are not like willing to take. And we saw that with like a massive opting out of this current feature.